Good morning, everyone. The chief host, the president, chairman of the Council of the Institute of Chartered Secretaries and Administrators of Nigeria, fellow speakers and panelists, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I'm delighted to welcome you all to the 44th Annual Conference of the Institute of Chartered Secretaries and Administrators of Nigeria, ICSAN. I am particularly honored to have been selected to give the opening remarks at this year's conference, a very unique conference that is holding both online and offline, which has been aptly named and themed Entrenching the Right Governance Framework for Economic Development and Sustainability. I believe I speak for most board members of corporations across the world when I tell you that the year 2020 has been a challenging year for corporate governance across many organizations, not just in Nigeria, but all over the world. Following the COVID-19 crisis, pandemic, and the ensuing economic challenges, board members in most organizations have had to deal with one risk factor after another. And these risk factors are so fundamental that if not addressed properly, may actually jeopardize the sustainability of the institutions. We all know that the COVID-19 it's very, nobody projected for it, nobody expected it. And so most people were not prepared for the challenges that are ahead, that we're all experiencing. But as we all know, the COVID-19 pandemic started like as a health crisis. It's a global health crisis before becoming an economic crisis. Apart from the mortality rate, the high death rates across the world, which unfortunately has not really abated in so many parts of the world, especially in North America and Europe. Its economic impact has been far-reaching as governments across the globe have released multiple stimulus packages to manage the resultant adverse effects it has on the world economies. The economic activities have drastically slowed down, and we all have also seen lockdowns in so many countries and restrictions in movement of goods and services and people being implemented globally. The impact of this has been adverse effect on employment levels all over the world, and of course, naturally, consumer purchasing power has nosedived. As a result, most economies in the world are experiencing recession. In fact, just recently, last month, the OECD projected that global GDP will decline by 4.5% by year end. The popular rating agency, Fitch Rating, also projected that the global GDP will decline by 4.4%. That is unprecedented in the last couple of decades. So for business organizations, therefore, the situation has not been very different from the global impact. In the face of the COVID-19 pandemic, therefore, some organizations have struggled because the their customers have literally disappeared. Others are grappling with supply chain disruptions. Some others are grappling with unsustainable debts. Some others are having issues with sufficiency of capital to fund their operations. In response to these challenges, the boards of many corporate organizations have become more active and more involved in strategic planning, in responding and running of their respective organizations. From the organization of efforts to support governments in reducing the impact of the crisis, to increase call for meetings and reports. COVID-19 pandemic has seen most boards of corporations transition from an oversight-based model of corporate governance to one that is more involved and more engaging regarding how the organizations plan, execute, and perform. Also of note is how the COVID-19 has fostered a transition from a shareholder-centric model of governance to one that considers the expectations of different stakeholders. Boards now recognize the importance of societal context the organizations exist in, and realize that they must improve their connections with these societies in order to minimize possible risks that the organizations may be exposed to. The increased participation and consideration, I dare say, represents the new normal for many organizations. Moving forward, I expect that the boards of many organizations will include activities such as forming organizational strategy and reviewing business models, establishing and strengthening connections with society, and identifying possible risks that the organizations may face to their existing oversight function. This new model may yet form the nexus of the governance framework for economic development, as I expect that it will result in increased organization performance and success. Having set the tone, therefore, for what I believe will be an engaging conference, I'm hopeful and optimistic that the deliberations and discussions we are going to have today and tomorrow will result in the generation of a comprehensive framework of how organizations will be governed to improve chances for success in a post-COVID-19 world. I welcome you once more, and I want to thank you for listening. And it is my privilege and pleasure to therefore declare the conference open. Thank you so much, and God bless you all.